Same person comes every day. Just because I came in a different time, suddenly the energies have changed. Anyways, very good evening. So you don't have to open your books and sit because I am not going to teach in any of my first class. So I hope each one of you know why you are here. Why? Advanced Java. What is Advanced Java? Something which is advanced. God knows. I know there are many of them who are sitting over here just come to see what exactly is going to be there in this technology. Because as I usually mention, see around the class. After 2 weeks you will not see them, that's why. So, before I actually start with this particular thing, I just wanted to say there is some prerequisite for this. What is the prerequisite? You know this already? Yes. When you say that you know this, you should know each and every concept of it. Because I am going to make use of each and every concept which has been taught to you in core Java. And I am not going to teach you. Don't say, sir, we did not understand. If you don't understand what polymorphism is, that is not my problem. You should have practiced polymorphism. So same way, I am going to use each and every concept of core Java. Similarly, next one. You know this? It is compulsory. I am not going to teach any of the SQL. And I don't know SQL. When I get doubt, I will ask you. You should help. Next, HTML and CSS. You don't know this? Then go home today. In LMS, there is HTML videos and CSS videos. Learn them and come tomorrow. That's it. So you have, why HTML, CSS not yet started for you? Not yet started? Okay. Don't worry. There is videos of HTML and CSS. Please go to your PGs, sit and watch them. When you watch them, I want you to build something out of it as well. And I will give you 10 days of time. Or 10 days is too much, I guess. 1 week of time. In 1 week of time, I am not asking you to learn all HTML and CSS. I am just asking you to learn HTML. Can you learn or not? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Great. Learn that much and come. Then we will start with Advanced Java. But let me be very clear and say you what you are going to learn in Advanced Java, and later on we will start because we have a lot of time to learn. But before that, let's understand what we are learning and what is my expectation from your side. Because all these days you expected from the trainers. Now trainers will start expecting from you. Because all these months trainers have put their efforts and they have taught this concept, that concept, like this, like that. Now we will get to know, after teaching all of this, did this person go to his PG, open his laptop, did he type the code and practice or not? So if you have not, still you have time. Please go and start practicing today itself, because from here onwards, if you even have to understand a single line of code, you should have written such code, only then you will understand. I am not speaking about programming, I am speaking about core Java plus SQL. Is that clear to you? Now, in the very first class, when you attended the demo classes, in the demo class it was clearly shown to you that you will be able to build web applications, correct or not? And so many different kinds of web applications were also shown to you. And I hope maybe in that particular class you might have not got in detail what exactly or how exactly a technology could help you. But I hope right now if I show you, you will clearly know how a technology can help you. So I am just showing you another example today, and then I will continue the discussion. Is that clear to you? So first what I will do is I will take you to the Chrome, and the ones in that corner who are using phone, please keep it inside. So over here I will just, let's assume that I want to order some food. I am hungry. So what you can do is you can go to either Swiggy or Zomato, correct or not? Which one do you go to, Swiggy or Zomato? Zomato. Okay. Why Swiggy is very expensive? Oh. Okay. So I want to search for food in Bangalore itself. So dictate GPS. No. B. Let's see whether there is Bangalore. Okay. Okay. Well, how do I search in Zomato? Restaurant, cuisine type or dish? It's not showing any restaurants based on Bangalore. I ignore Zomato, I will close it. That's why you should make the application such a way that it is very user friendly. See, Swiggy, how neatly it will open it for me. This is the difference. So you should make sure whenever you build an application, it should be so user friendly. So basically, if you want any food, all you will do is you will go for this particular application. What do you want? What do you want? I'll order for you. For 3 people, I will order today. Who are those 3 people? Any other 2? 1 person raised. All of you give your cards. So basically, when you go to this application, what you can see over here is, so basically there is Theo Brahma, there is Burger King, there is Starbucks, all of this. I will just go to Burger King over here. If I go to Burger King, there is a lot of menu available over here. So you have a crispy veg burger, then fries, then veg double party some burger, then crispy chicken double party burger, some big burgers and all they are showing. Premium instance, classic, then crispy veg burgers, so many different burgers they are showing to us. But what is that I want you to observe over here is, this is one image that is displayed to you. Over here, there is some kind of text which has been displayed, there is another kind of text, there is another kind of text and another kind of text. If you need to implement this particular thing, do you need a technology or not? Which is that? HTML will help you to do this much? No, if you write only in HTML, burger image will come, one big burger image over here, and one big text will come below that burger image, and all of this will come below all of that. Yes or no? So you need to write a proper div tag, and inside the div tag you need to write how exactly the CSS has to be written for each of that, correct or not? So you need both HTML as well as CSS. But if you just write HTML and CSS, each of the data that you write over here has to be hard coded over there. Anyone comes and refreshes this, the data will be always the same. It will never change. That's a very difficult way of building things. Then what can we do? If you scroll this down, you can browse a lot of menu over here. There is so many items that is present inside this. Now, in each of the items that is available for you over here, there is an image, there is a name, there is the price, there is a description. This is what is available. And it also says whether it is veg or non-veg. These many details, not only for one menu item, but for this menu item, for this menu item, for this menu item, and goes on like this. Now, if all of this are nothing but what? Information or data about different burgers or different food items. Should it be stored somewhere or not? Where? That is when you have another technology for database. Have you learned database technology or not? Yes, you have learned database technology as well. You have seen how to store some text data, means varchar data. Or you have also seen how to store integer data, how to store very lengthy text as well. All of these things you have seen in database. Is that clear to you? And after that, when you make an order, there will be one person placing an order or one customer placing an order. When one customer places an order, he will place it from one single restaurant, correct or not? Yes. So, whenever you make an order, there is one bill that has been generated. If you see that bill, will there be one order ID in that or not? Order items are there in that or not? So similarly, all the description about that order, address of that order, restaurant of that order, customer of that order, all these details are available for you over there or not? Yes. So you need to understand, when you are storing all of this data in the database, restaurant is a different table, customer is a different table, similarly order is a different table, and is there relationship between all of these entities or not? Yes. All these things is what you individually learnt in MySQL or SQL. Is that clear to you? But what happens over here is, you are not just seeing the data over here. Along with this particular thing, you can actually do one more thing. That is, you can filter out over here, say veg only. Now whatever you see will be only of veg items, correct or not? So there was a lot of data present. Did you filter out some data out of it or not? Yes. Not only that, if you go to this particular browse menu, over here you can see deal of the day 169. Now only few items are displayed over here. Everything which is whichever is sold for 169 rupees has been displayed. Similarly, if you want some other options to be available, for example, let's assume that I want family feast for 4 people. 4 of our friends are enjoying the meal, so these are the options. So like this, you have different options. So are you manipulating the data over here or not? Yes, you are actually manipulating the data. For example, you can actually search the data, you can sort the data. How do I do that? If you actually go back over here, and I will just say maybe rating 4.0 plus. Now only which has higher rating comes over here. Now whichever is giving in the price range of 300 to 600, if I click on that, only such details are provided over here. So you can see that I am applying different kinds of filters over here. All of this can be achieved easily only with a backend technology. Even database can do it, but it's not so easy to do it in the database, and it is not good to do in the database. And that is what we are going to learn now. Is that clear to you? So you have individually learned how to build this page. You have individually learned how to store this data. And you have also learned how to sort the data, how to search the data, all of these things. But each of these things you have learned as different technologies. Right now in advanced Java, what is that we are going to learn is, we are just going to connect all of these technologies together. That is all. There is no new concept that I am going to teach. All I am going to do is, how can we connect our database with our Java? How can we connect our Java with HTML? This is all we are going to learn. So there is no new concept as I mentioned. But if you don't know Java, then you cannot connect with database nor with HTML. If you don't know SQL, you cannot connect with Java. So please make sure you learn all of these things. Is that clear to you? Great. Anyways, by the end of the advanced Java classes, you will be building an application like this. Are you ready or not? Provided you sit and write the code, not me standing and building over here. Is that clear? Yes. So for that, please make sure that you sit and write the code every day, and every day I shall give you tasks. You will have to perform those tasks. Let's continue in that particular case. So let's assume that we normally write any Java program. Now in Java program, whenever you write, let's assume that we had a lot of data. For example, I showed you so much of data inside that particular application. There were so many restaurant details, there were so many menu item details, all of that was there. Similarly, if you go to any application, there will be a lot of details provided over there. Now, where can we store these details? The first option that we have is, we can store all of these details in our files. Is that clear to you? So we can make use of a concept called as file handling to actually store that particular thing. So what I will do is, I will make use of a file, and inside that file I can store all these details. Maybe in some table, maybe this is an employee table which says Bob is the employee, his designation is this, his salary is this, and maybe this is his, what is that? This is another person and his details. Like this we can store it in a file. This is also possible. But there are some disadvantages in this. What is the disadvantage if you ask me? In case, if you want to perform any operation, maybe you are changing his salary. It is not so easy to change it in a file. You can't easily write some code, or you cannot easily write some query and change it over there. So that is the major disadvantage of handling a file or writing anything in a file or reading the data from a file. So file handling is basically not suggested these days to store the data. So we will not learn file handling for that. Then what is the other option that we have over here, if you ask me? The other option is something which you have already learned. What do I mean by this? Let's assume that this is a simple form. Someone comes and fills all his details inside this particular form. So someone is filling the name, email, and after that maybe he is filling the phone number. After that, once he clicks on register, don't you think his details has to be stored somewhere? For example, you came to TAP Academy. You came to TAP Academy and after that you registered in our platform. When you register in our platform, don't you think your data is stored somewhere in our platform? Where exactly? That is where it is stored, if you ask me. As soon as you click on register, it is stored inside the database. Now when I say database, database is nothing but your hard disk, that's all. But inside that there are different structures which has been formed over there, and inside that there are different tables which can be formed, and inside this, within a table, that data will be formed. Like this, you are not the only person who will come and register. There can be so many other people who can come and register over here. This is one person, this is another person, like that there are so many other people over here. Is that clear to you? So the first thing that we are doing over here is, we are creating the data inside the database. Means you are inserting the data or you are creating that. That's the first operation. Apart from this, what all you would do? If the database already exists, the next thing that you can do is, you might have to read all the data which is there over there. For example, you need the employee detail of the second person. You want the third person's detail, fourth person's detail, fifth person, sixth person. Like this, you need all the details to be displayed. So are you reading the data or not? Yes, you are reading the data. This is one of the other most important thing that you need to do in a database. One is creating the data, other one is reading the data. Apart from creating and reading the data, there could be other things as well. Maybe suddenly you want to go and change one person's mail ID over here. He will come and say, sir, my mail ID is wrong, please change my mail ID. So probably you want to change this person's mail ID. You will click on this option called as edit. When you click on edit, you can actually go and change any details that you want. Let's assume we are changing one of the details over here. So I am changing the details of mail ID over here. If I change the mail ID, over there in the database, should it change or not? Yes. As soon as I click on update over here, automatically over there it has to be changed. And this is nothing but the update operation that is happening over here. And these are the three things that is happening. Apart from this as well, there is one more major thing that usually happens in a database. Let's assume I don't want this person's detail. All I need to do is what? Click on this delete. As soon as I click on that particular delete, what exactly happens is, this particular detail, whichever is there in the database, gets deleted. This is what will happen. So these are the four major CRUD operations that you will perform in a database. One is create, one is read or retrieve, other one is update, other one is delete. Is that clear to you? Any application that you take, these are the only four CRUD operations. If you learn how to do these four CRUD operations in an application, you can build any application. You might think e-commerce site is different, food delivery app is different. No, they are not different. They are one and the same. The way you write the code is one and the same. They look different for the users. For developers, it looks the same, because the way the developers write the code is the same. Is that clear to you? So if you learn these four CRUD operations, it means to say you have learnt how to build an application. So our major focus over here will be to how to write all the four CRUD operations using different technologies that is available to us, right? To start with that particular thing, as we know, all the data, where is the data present inside the database? So say me, can Java directly interact with this database, or it cannot interact? It cannot interact. So whenever you need to perform any operations on database, you have a software for that. What is that? RDBMS software. because you will have so many different tables over there, because it's a relational database that you have over here. And when it comes to RDBMS software, I hope you already know, the RDBMS software is the only one who will be interacting with that particular database. And when it comes to RDBMS software, there are so many different options that we have. One is MySQL, and the other one is Oracle, the other one is Informix, and the list is very huge over here. Is that clear? And you have already learnt one RDBMS concept over here. Which one? MySQL. Great. So you have learnt MySQL over here. Amazing. Now what is that I want to do is, for example, whatever programs we have written till now, normally you have written in MySQL, or majority of the logical programs you have written in Java. In Java. Because all business logic, if you need to write, you will write in backend technology like Java or Python or JavaScript or C#. These are the technologies which you will use. And we have already learnt Java in our case over here. Now, Java cannot directly go and interact with database. So what you can do is, you can actually connect Java with this RDBMS. But you need to understand the nature of code that you write in Java. How do you write the code in Java is, you make it as an object-oriented programming language, you create objects over there, variables over there, and you have a different way of writing code. Is it the same way that you write the code in MySQL as well? No, it is different, correct or not? So over here you write queries. So you need to understand the way the code has been written there and the queries are written over here, they are completely different from one another. So it is impossible for Java to directly interact with RDBMS, and nor RDBMS cannot interact with Java easily. Means this connection cannot exist is what I mean. Then what to do? If this cannot happen, you have already studied, what can we do? If both of them cannot understand each other, you can have another person in between who can actually help communicate with each other. Who? Compiler. Wow. So, I do understand in your first or your second class it was told, if high level language cannot be given to the microprocessor, compiler will come. Am I giving high level to microprocessor here? This is common sense. So, basically what we need is, we need one translator over here. That is what we need, correct or not? On that day when you learned Java, compiler was your translator, or assembler was your translator, or JVM was your translator. But now these are not our translators. You need to get one software, and that software is what we call as a driver software. Now what is the job of this driver software if you ask me? The job of the driver software is to actually make sure that Java is able to communicate with RDBMS and RDBMS is able to communicate with Java. Is that clear to you? So basically the Java will connect with the driver software. The driver software will be written in Java itself. And then this will actually connect with the RDBMS, and then the connection will be complete. RDBMS anyways can interact with database. Is that clear to you? So basically what exactly you are doing is, you have Java on one end, and on the other end what do you have? Database. So basically you are connecting Java with database. So this connection where you are connecting Java with database, that is what we call as Java database connectivity, or in short we also call it as JDBC. And that is what we are going to learn first. Is that clear to everyone? So let's start with JDBC. But before I start with JDBC over here, the question is, where can I get this software from? Because RDBMS software, have you already installed in your system or not? Yes. This software, have you already installed or not? Driver software, have you already installed? No, you have not installed. You remember interface classes? There one story was told to you, I guess. Yes? That is a true story, by the way. So, what I mean to say is, this driver software, where do you find, if you ask me? This driver software is available in the RDBMS website. Means, if you go to their website, you will see the driver software. Now, in our case, who is our RDBMS vendor? MySQL. If you are using MySQL, you need to go to MySQL's website. If you are using Oracle, you need to go to Oracle's website. If you are using some Informix, you need to go to their website. If you go to their website, you need to understand that MySQL, it's not necessary should be connected only with Java. MySQL can be connected with Java, can be connected with Python, can be connected with C#, can be connected with JavaScript, can be connected with .NET. There are so many options. So if you are connecting with Java, then you will get a Java driver over here. If you are connecting with .NET, you will get a .NET driver over here. If you are connecting with Python, you will get a driver which is compatible with Python. And who is building this driver softwares? The RDBMS vendors are building that particular softwares. Why? Because if they want to attract Java developers, Python developers, C# developers, all of them, they have to provide it. If they don't provide it, developers will say, we will not use your software, we will use someone else. So if they have to do business, they will have to build that particular driver software, and if you go to their website, you will find that driver software. So first our duty is, let's go and install that particular driver software, and then we will continue with JDBC. Is that clear to you? Then let's start. So who is our vendor? MySQL. Then let's go to Chrome. You just have to open a new tab. What is that you need to do is, you just have to go and search MySQL connector. If you say MySQL connector, you can see there is the first website whichever is shown to you. Is it visible for you guys? Okay. So you can see it says https mysql.com products connector. You can just go and click over there. If you go and click over there, you will see multiple options that has been present. .NET driver for MySQL, ODBC driver for MySQL, JDBC driver for MySQL, Node.js driver for MySQL, Python, C++, all these options are there. Which one do we need? Obviously JDBC. You can see connector/J means Java. So this is the driver that you need. Go and click on download. So I will just go and click on download. If you go and click on download, it is asking you select your operating system. So you can select whichever operating system that you are making use of. I will come over here, and there is one called as platform independent. That is what I will select over here. After that, it is giving me two options. Do you want this tar.gz, or do you want zip file, or whichever you can extract, you can use that. I will go and download this zip file. So the second option is what I will click download on. And when you go and click on download, they will ask you to either log in or sign up. So you need to log in. Sign up. When you sign up, they will ask you for some $5 or $10. So, or there is one more option. In small they have written, no thanks, just start my download. You can go ahead. So mine is already downloaded. You can see over here it has got downloaded. I think the pop-up doesn't show over here. So let me show how exactly it looks like. So you can see I have downloaded the zip file over here. I will take you to the downloads. This is where it's downloaded. Don't worry, I will take it to some other folder where there is no confusion for you. So I'll just copy from here. Let's go to my PC, or let's go to softwares. There is already one softwares over here. Fine. Let's go to D drive, and over here there is one softwares. Let's see what is there in this softwares. So here also there are so many things. I will create a new folder. New, then I will say folder, and inside that I will say softwares 2, I will say. Inside this I will paste whatever I copied. So I will make it as extra large icons. So this is the file that you have downloaded. Those who are attending online, I am so sorry if you are not able to see this particular thing. Just follow the audio carefully. I think the text will not be visible for you clearly. So what I will do is I will right click on this particular thing and you need to extract this. Is there any option to extract? Yeah. You can see there is an option called as extract here. It will extract and you can see there is one folder which has got created over here. Let me change into extra large icons. This is the folder. So basically you need to extract and keep like this. Is that clear to you? Any doubts till here? Are you sure? Great. If this much is done, now let's go back to Eclipse. Day 1 someone has already created. I will just open the package explorer. Okay. So where is it created? I don't know. So what we will do is, you know how to create a new project? Let's create a new project. I will say Control N, I will say Java project, I will say next. Which month is this? Feb. Okay. I will say JDBC. And I will give a hyphen and I will say Feb. So that's the name of my project. And after that, the JDK version or that Java SC version 17 is what I am using. And in some of your cases, create model info.java, that will be enabled. Please disable that particular thing. I will click on next and you can click on finish. Somewhere it should have got created. Are you able to see it is created over here? Yes. So all the other files, is it disturbing you? Yes? If it is really disturbing, I will change. Don't worry. This is new year, right? I will change it. So if you don't know how to change, that also you see off. Go over here, switch workspace and say others. Eclipse workspace 2024 I will say. And I will say launch. New Eclipse will open. Let's wait. You know all this, right? Don't know means watch the video once again, you will understand. If you are using Eclipse, if you don't even know how to keep different workspace for Eclipse, so disappointing. New Eclipse got created. Not new Eclipse, just a different workspace. Workspace means a different region now. So what I will do is, I will just close this welcome. And over here it is showing Project Explorer. I want to create a Java project. It's not giving any option. So I will say Control N and I will say Java project. I will click on next. And after that I will give a name for that project. I will name it as, what is that? JDBC Feb. I will click model info, see it is enabled. I will disable this. I will click on next and I will click on finish. Open perspective, okay. It is created. But the color is white. Anyone knows how to change the color? How? Windows, okay. Window? Preference? Appearance, okay. From there? Preference, okay. From here? Theme. Where is theme? Oh, I need to search theme. Okay. Theme spelling THEAM. Theme spelling. THEME. Okay. Color and fonts. That is the one. This one. Dark mode and all will come. Anyone knows clearly where exactly I need to go? Please raise your hand if anyone knows. Yes. Where? Then what? So many 300 plus people are sitting. One person is not able to help me. Appearance. Where there is no theme here? Huh? Search. This one. Today I think class will get over by changing the theme itself. So let's continue. We have created one project as of now. I think till here whatever we have done is understood to each one of you. Now in case if you need to write any JDBC program, you need to have the driver software inside this. If you don't have the driver software inside your project, then you cannot write any programs or any JDBC programs. So normally when you open anything, you will see one JRE and you will see one source. Where will you write your programs? You will write it inside your source, correct or not? Yes. So what is that I want you to do is, you need to go under the project, right click over here and say new, and over here create a new folder. You can give any name to the folder, but the whole world of developers says you need to give the folder name as lib. And after that lib, lib means library. I will click on finish. Is there one folder named lib created or not? Yes. Now inside that particular folder, you need to put your file, that driver software. So that driver software is considered as your jar file. Now where is that available? You just downloaded it and extracted. Over there it is available. So if I take you to the downloads over here, when you this was the file that you had. Once you extracted, you got this folder. If you go inside this folder, there is one thing called, one Java small icon is there, mysql connector.j, and the version number is written over there. I want you to copy this particular thing from here. You can just right click and copy, or you can use Ctrl C. After that you go to Eclipse over here, and inside this lib you just paste it. You can directly say Ctrl V, or you can right click and see the paste option, and I will paste it. And if I open this, are you able to see this MySQL connector jar over here? Yes. Are you ready to write JDBC code if I ask? No, because there are some other steps that you need to do after doing this. What is that? Again go to your project. Under your project, right click on this and go to properties. Under properties, again you need to go to something called as Java build path. That is the fourth option that is available over here. If I click on Java build path over here, there are multiple options that has been given to you over here. Now what is that you need to click on? If you ask me, you need to go and click on these libraries. When you go and click on libraries, you will see two things. One is model path and the other one is class path. Under model path, you will see JRE system library, and this side everything will be disabled apart from edit and remove. What I want you to do is, I want you to go and click on class path. Is that clear to you? I will continue this, but I will repeat whatever I repeated till now once again. What you need to do is go right click on this, go and click on properties. Next, go and click on Java build path, which is the fourth option that is available in this window. Next, go and click on libraries. In libraries, you need to select class path. Once you click on class path, the first option says add jars. You need to click on add jars. So I will come over here and I will click on add jars. Over here, whatever folders or projects that you have created, all that projects will be displayed to you over here. In my case, there is only one project, that is JDBC Feb. So I will just open this particular thing. JDBC Feb I opened, and when I open this, inside this there is one folder called as lib. I will open this as well. Inside that there is one driver software that I have put, correct or not? Click on this software, click on OK. After that, either you can click on apply or apply and close, up to you. So what I will do is I will click on OK, I will click on apply, and I will click on apply and close. Now when I did this particular thing, something extra came over here. Over here, earlier what was there? JRE was there, source was there. I created one folder called as lib. Reference libraries, did I create? No. When I did this particular operation, reference libraries got created. Is that clear to you? Now what is that I need to do is, if I go inside that particular reference libraries, so many Java files will be there. I will open this MySQL Connect jar. You can see there is one package called as com.mysql.cj. If I open that particular package, inside that package there are so many different classes which has been written by the MySQL vendors, and they have kept it inside that jar file. Similarly, there are so many other things, and there is one more package over here which says com.mysql.cj.jdbc. This is one of the most important package. Why, you will understand going ahead. Next, after this, what I will do is, I will just click on this drop down over here, and you can see inside this there are so many classes which has been created. And there is also one class called as driver.class. This is like your main method. Means, if that class does not exist, you cannot write any JDBC program. Is that clear to you? So these many things are your prerequisite to write any JDBC code. Is it understood till here? Yes? Any doubts in this? Are you sure? You will have doubts for sure. Not now. When you actually do this, you will be like, oh, I missed one step. I missed two steps. This will happen. That's why recording will be provided. Please watch the recording and then do it. Is that clear to you? Because this is not a concept. This is just how to set up your environment. Is that clear to you? Now, once you are done with all of these things, then you need to start writing the JDBC program. If you need to write JDBC program, first thing that you need to do is, you need to actually come inside the source. You can create packages, whichever package you like. So you know how to create package and all of that? Yes. I will say Control N, I will say package, and over here I will give any name to the package. I will give the name of the package as com.tab. And after that, please don't create package info. I see many of them trying to create this. Just click on finish. Package is created. I will just click again Control N inside this. I want to create one class. I will name the class as Sorry? Voice is breaking. Last bench, is there anyone outside? ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನಿದು ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ? ಅದೇ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? Fine. Now audible? Audible? Okay. So I will name it as program 1 and I will say public static void main and I will click on finish. Visible? Now visible? Okay. This is my class. Over here I need to start writing the program. I will say system.out.println. I will say welcome to JDBC. Let's see whether it executes or not. Executing, not a problem. Now we need to start writing JDBC programs. Now when it comes to JDBC programs, there are some common steps in JDBC programs. I will show you those common steps and then we will start. The first program of JDBC might be difficult. But the second program, third program, all the way till the last program will be exactly same as the first program. So, if you execute the first program in JDBC, it means you learned JDBC. That is how easy it is. You may not believe me today, but Monday when you attend the classes, you will be like, yes, what you told on which day today is? Tuesday, that is correct. But you need to make sure that you are actually going to your home and doing whatever I asked you to do. Is that clear to you? If you don't do it, I will make sure that I will divide your classes into 2 different classes. I will ask each one of you to get the laptops. I will make sure you get the laptops, and once I will teach, I will make one person to come and explain another program in the stage. If you are not doing regular. Anyways, let's continue. What are the steps? The first step is to load the driver. How do we load the driver? You know how to load a class? How do you load a class? Huh? Oh, double clicking on that. Nice. Loading a class, have you studied in core Java or not? How do you load a class? What do you mean by loading? Say me. Hard disk to RAM. Hard disk to RAM what? If you take one movie from hard disk to RAM, it is called as loading. Correct or not? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, it is correct. But I don't want to load movie, I want to load a class. How do you load a class? See, core Java. First 10 days, 15 days you would have studied. Normally, if you know how to call a compiler in Java? Java C and the name of the file. You know how to call a JVM in Java? Yes. I will make you revise. Have you studied static? Sure? Awesome. When you studied static, one thing was taught to you, that whenever the class loads, static variables memory is initialized, then static block executes. Remember that or not? Little. Okay. So what exactly happens is, whenever you give any program to the JVM, how do you give? You will say Java, and after that you will say the name of the class. When you say the name of the class gets loaded. Who loads it? JVM loads it. In JVM, class loader will load it automatically. Is that clear to you? You are not doing any extra efforts over here to load that. Class loader will load it on its own. But there will be some situations where class loader will not load on its own. In those situations, you need to write one extra line of code to load that. And that extra line of code is what I am going to teach in some time. I will teach that, don't worry. Then the next thing that we need to do is establish connection to database. This is a common step in every JDBC program. The next step will be create an SQL statement. Normally, if you want, JDBC means what? You are connecting with what? Database. If you want to connect with database, don't you think you need to make a connection with the database? That is why you have second step. Once you make the connection with database, what will you do? Either you will insert the data, or you will retrieve the data, or you will update the data, or you will delete the data. Correct or not? Yes. If you need to do that, should you write a SQL query or not? For that you need to create one SQL statement. Once you are done by creating an SQL statement, next what you need to do? Execute that particular SQL statement. Once you execute the SQL statement, for example, let's assume that you want to retrieve the data. When you retrieve the data, what is the SQL statement you will write? Select star from name of the table. When you write that, is it going to give you some data or not? Once it gives all the data for you, don't you think it is your duty to process that data? If you want, like let's assume it is giving you all the employee details. You don't want to display all the employee details. You need to display only such employee details whose salary is greater than 50,000. So are you processing the data or not? Yes. How would you do that? All that logic has to be written in the fifth step. So that is process the data, and only in retrieve statement you need to process. If there is no retrieve statement, for example, if you are inserting, is database giving anything back to you? No. Then there is no fifth step, only 4 steps. Is that clear to you? And all the 4 steps will look the same apart from the SQL query. That's all. That's why I told you every JDBC program looks the same. Only thing that will change is the SQL query. Is that clear to you? Great. Then let's continue. So, do we have time? Okay. First, loading the driver. This is not JDBC. Loading the driver basically means to say I am going to load the driver class. Which driver class? I just showed you one driver class inside one package. You remember there was one class called as driver.class. What was the package? Some CJ, comma and all that was there. Correct. You are right. So I will just open Eclipse for you. So if I take you to Eclipse, you can see inside this reference libraries, if I go inside this, there is one package called as com.mysql.cj.jdbc. Are you able to see this? If I open that particular package, inside that particular package, there will be one class called as driver. So basically, you need to load this particular driver class. It will not get loaded automatically sometimes. So you will have to explicitly load it. But if it gets automatically loaded, that is great. So if you need to explicitly load any class, there is one method which is present inside the class called as class. In core Java, there is a concept. There is one class. The name of the class is called as class itself. Inside that, there is one method called as for name. So you need to call that method called as for name. And in that for name, you need to say in which package you need to pick. What was the name of the package? com.mysql.jdbc.driver. That is the name of the class. So that thing has to be passed as a parameter over here. If you pass that particular thing over here as a parameter, then the driver class which is present inside com.mysql.cj.jdbc will be loaded. Where will it be loaded to? From hard disk to RAM. Where exactly? Inside RAM you have JRE, inside JRE you have code segment, inside that code segment that class will be loaded. This is not a compulsory step, this is an optional step, but it is compulsory for developers to write, because in case if that does not get loaded, your server will go down. So can you take that risk? No. You can take a risk of not getting a job by writing a wrong program, but you cannot take a risk of writing a wrong program and making sure an application comes down, because if you don't get a job, maybe you will lose 4 lakhs in a year, but if one application goes down, 400 crores will go from a company. This is the difference. So you cannot take a risk of not writing this, but it is compulsory for you to write. But even if you don't write it, it will still load it. And in core Java, you never used it, because every time in your core Java programs, all classes were loaded on its own, because class loader made sure it will load. But now onwards, we cannot take this risk, so we need to compulsorily write this code. Once this is done, what is the next thing that we need to do? Is to establish the connection to the database. So whatever programs that we write is actually in the Java side. Now if you need to write, establish a connection, you need to make use of one class called as driver manager. In fact, it's not a class, it's an interface. So over here you will say, sorry, it is a class itself. Driver manager dot, and over here if you want to establish a connection, there is a method called as get connection. For this connection you need to give certain details. What are the details is, if you want to build a connection, the first thing is URL, second thing is username, third one is password. For example, if you want to connect to our Drives platform, what are the details you need? First, you need to know what is the URL of the Drives platform. Second, you need to know what is your username. Third, you need to know what is your password. Same thing over here. You need to give the URL, you need to give the username, and after that you need to give the password. If you give these three details, only then you will be able to establish connection between your Java program and your database. Is that clear to you? But even before you do this, database has to be created. Have we created any database till now? No. So first thing that we need to do is go and create one database. So first let's go and create one database. So when you are learning MySQL, where did you write the queries? Sorry? Command prompt. I will write the queries in MySQL workbench. And this is my MySQL workbench. Unfortunately, they have kept it open. So I will just close this. This is how your workbench will look like, correct or not? So sometimes it will ask for password. In my case, it will not ask for any password. So I am just going to close all of these things. Oh, so many things are there. Okay, anyways, what I wanted to show you over here is you need to create one database. How do you create a database if you ask me? There is one symbol over here. Are you able to see this symbol? If you click on that, it will create a database. So I will just click on this particular thing. I am not going to write any queries. I am not teaching you MySQL. You have already studied MySQL till now. So I will just click on this particular thing. It is asking for the name over here. I will just give a name for this. I will give a name as maybe name. I will say JDBC classes as the name. And after that there is one apply button in the corner. I will click on this apply. Apply changes selected name conflicts with existing schema. Basically they are saying there is already one database named as JDBC classes. I will say okay. Were you able to see that pop up? No, okay. So I will say JDBC classes 3, and after that I will click on apply. After that I will say apply, and I will say finish. So I will just copy this class name and I will keep it with me, because I would need that particular class. Is that clear to you? Now, this is one thing I wanted you to observe, and I will just close this. If I close this, I want you to observe one more thing over here. Here there are some information given. One is root. Next one is local host, and after that there is one more detail. 3306. Local host colon 3306. You need to remember those details because we are going to use that particular thing. So root, whatever you see over here, you can see one person's icon over here. It means that is username. Next, what is that localhost 3306? We will understand, but before that we will go back. So first let's see how we can get the URL. So URL is usually in this particular format. So basically when you write this particular code, it will actually give you the connection object. Whatever connection object it gives, it means it has established the connection. So you need to store it inside, you should give a reference, and the type of this reference is nothing but connection. But anyways, we will go to that. But what is the URL, what is the username, what is the password? In our case, what was the username? I just showed you over there. What did it show? Root. And password, what it is, you should know. Usually it will be root. Is that clear to you? So URL, what is it, is what we need to understand. URL will be always in this format. API, then vendor, then IP address, then port number, then database name. What do I mean by all of this? Let's see one by one. Right now what we are learning is what? JDBC. So the API will be JDBC. Is that clear to you? If you are learning Oracle, then it will be ODBC. Like that, for different vendors, there are different APIs. Same way, vendor, who is the vendor in our case? MySQL. So you will write MySQL. Is that clear to you? After that, you will put this colon, you will put this double slash. And whatever is your system's IP address, you will have to put that IP address. Is that clear to you? But whenever you are doing in the same system, rather than putting the IP address, you can directly say localhost. Localhost means same system. Means you are putting your system's IP address. After that, you need to put the port number. What is port number is, when you put your IP address, you need to understand there are so many systems connected to the internet. Now, how do you identify these systems? Is with the help of IP address, because IP address is unique for everyone. Once you identify the IP address, I got to know that is the system. Once you get to know that is the system, inside that particular system, do you think only my MySQL workspace is there, or is there so many other applications running? So many other applications are running. Now, how do I identify each of these applications? Each of these applications will have something called as a process ID. Is that clear to you? And same way, the process ID of this will be 3306, or in other words, the port number of your MySQL workbench will be, MySQL server will be 3306. By default, every one of our MySQL server port number is 3306, unless you changed it during the installation. If you have changed it during the installation, yours could be different. How do you see? You open MySQL workbench, over there it will show it to you. So it is compulsory for you to know that, otherwise you will not be able to write even a single line of JDBC code. So you need to put localhost over here, you need to put 3306 over here, and after that, inside your MySQL server, is there only one database, or there can be multiple databases? Multiple. So you need to say to which database you need to connect. So whichever database you need to connect, you give the name of that database. In our case, which database we are connecting to? JDBC classes 3, that is the database. So I will just give the name of that particular database over here. Is that clear to you? So that is what you need to provide over here. JDBC colon MySQL colon localhost colon 3306 and whatever is your database. This is your URL. Give it as a string. What is the username? Root. What is the password? Root. Give all these things. Connection object will be created. If it is created, then you will see, you will get to know it is created. If it is not created, definitely it will give you some exception, you will get to know there is a problem. So let's do this particular thing. So if you do all of that, one connection will be created from Java to your database. That is all. That is your connection to the database. So let's go and write the code for this particular thing. So I will just open my Eclipse. I will make it full screen. What is the first thing that I need to do is, I need to load the driver. You remember the, what is that, code for loading the driver? What was it? You need to say class dot for name, and over here you need to give the name of the class. What is the name of the class? If you don't know, it's okay. What is the name of the package over here? com.mysql.cj.jdbc. Inside this, which one you want? Driver. This is the one you want, and once you get this particular thing, so you don't have to take any return type, you can just put a semicolon. Oh, it's giving some error. Why it is giving error is because, assume that this is a class name or not. Are you sure it's a class name? What if that class does not exist? That can happen or not? Yes, it can happen. The class might not be there. If the class is not there, this for name method will throw an exception. And the name of that exception is class not found exception. And class not found exception is not a unchecked exception, it is a checked exception. If it is a checked exception, is it compulsory to handle it or not? Yes. So you need to write this code inside the try catch block. If you write it inside the try catch block, and what should be the catch block? Class not found exception. If you do that, then the problem will be solved. So I will just put this inside the try catch block, and I have created the catch block. You can clearly see the try and the catch block over here, and inside the try block I have written the code. Error is gone or not? Yes. Suddenly exception handling also came. Now the next thing that you need to do is you need to call driver manager class. Where is the driver manager class available? It is available in the whatever driver that you actually downloaded and you have put inside your Eclipse. That is where it is available. If you have not done that, it will give you error. So now what I shall do is I will say driver manager dot get connection, and in this I need to pass the URL, username, password. So URL, I will just say URL over here, and after this I will say username, and over here I will say password. Oh. And I will put a semicolon. But have we created any variables like URL, username, password? No. So I will create one string type of value which will store the URL, username and password. So this is URL, and one more I will create as username. So I will say username, and one more I will create as password. Any doubts in this? Doubts in this? Simple strings I am creating. Next, what I need to do is, what is my username? Root. What is my password? How do you know? Okay. My password is root. URL, I told you, what should be the URL? JDBC colon MySQL colon / localhost, sorry, colon port number, that is 3306 / database name. My database name was what? Sorry? Are you sure? Yes. Okay. JDBC classes. Are you sure this was the name? Okay. Fine. I did this. After doing this, I have written this. This will give me the connection object. I need to store it inside a variable of connection type, so I will store it inside a variable of type connection. Again, if you observe over here, it is giving me error. Why error? Because that's also throwing you an exception. What exception could it throw? Database not found. No. So it is throwing you an SQL exception, and I have written this. When does it throw an SQL exception? For example, you don't have JDBC classes 3. If that is the case, it will not say database not found, it will just throw you SQL exception. Or if your username is wrong, or if your password is wrong, it will throw you a SQL exception, and that exception is a checked exception, so it is compulsory for you to handle SQL exception as well. Is that clear to you? After this, in the very next line, there were other steps as well, but first let's check whether till here it is correct or not. So I will say system.out.println. Is that clear to you? If it prints this particular connection, it means to say the connection has been established. If it is not, it will throw me the exception. Is that clear to you? How many lines of code we have written? 2 lines of code. Don't consider this as all your lines of code. That is all simple string creations. Is that clear to you? Great. If you are feeling very complex in these things, stop learning Java from today, if that is difficult. So, let's execute this. I got the output. I will say one thing, each one of you will not get output. I am not cursing you or anything, because you might look it is very easy to do, but when you start doing it, you will start understanding the complexities. So I am not going to continue anything or any concept over here. Still I have not started with JDBC concept. I have just created a connection to the database. Now onwards we will write SQL queries, we will execute them from Java itself. We will not write any query in SQL. Directly everything will happen from here. Is that clear to you? As soon as JDBC gets over, we will not do it from here as well. Front end user will come and put the details that will go in the database. User will come and click on one button, every details will come to your front end. That is what we will do. Is that clear to you? But everything will go step by step. For that, first you need to write just these 2 lines, only 2 lines of code you have written. Write these 2 lines of code, execute. If everything comes correct, tomorrow we will continue. Is that clear to you? If there is any problem, tomorrow from 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock I will be over here. Any problem you have, you take your laptop and come. Please charge your laptop, switch on your laptop, only then come to me. Don't come in front of me and then say, I am switching on, sir. I have seen so many people coming and wasting time to just switch on the laptop for 5 to 10 minutes. So please make sure you get your laptop, switch on your laptop. What exactly is the problem? You show me the problem, get it resolved. And one more thing. Don't come to me and say, sir, SQL Server installation problem. If you have that problem, you should have fixed it long back. Still, if you have that problem, please don't waste my time. I cannot help you in that particular case. Is that clear to you? Great. So before I conclude the class, we have one student who recently got placed. So please give a round of clap for her. And so they are starting with JDBC classes to give a reference. And audible? Okay. So you can share your experience. Just now she got offer letter just 1.5 hours back, if I'm not wrong. So tomorrow is her joining, by the way. So they are all happy for you. So please make sure, share your experience, interview experience, TAP Academy experience, your PG experience, and if there is any other experience that you think is relevant for them, please share them.
Hi everyone. I am Swati. I recently graduated from Sri Vidyaniketan Engineering College in the stream of Computer Science, and I joined TAP Academy from August, and during TAP Academy it has great experience to explore various technologies and upskilling myself through coding and all. And TAP Academy also provides with great resources like Thai. Please utilize those resources. Let me be honest, in my interview, they mainly focused on core Java with basic skills like data types, encapsulation, and coming to another stuff, they didn't ask any other thing. They only focused on core Java.
Package 30 lakhs.
Package is 3.6 LPA. Avin Systems. And interview rounds, I will say, there are 4 interview rounds. First is written test, where they ask aptitude and English and one scenario-based coding. based on OOPS. And second round and third round both are technical interviews. They mainly focused on OOPS only. And in technical level 2, they mainly concentrated on collections. Please make sure you follow those things. And then HR interview, that's it.
HR, anything specific?
No, nothing, just basic questions.
Any questions? Company
Avin Systems.
Koramangala, you can go and visit. Any other questions? HR question, what did they ask?
They just asked about introduction, family background, strengths and weakness. That's it.
What strengths you mentioned?
I said self-motivated and quick learner.
Weakness?
Weakness, I mentioned social anxiety.
Social
And I also said how to overcome those things also.
Okay. So she had a backup, how she has to overcome and how she is working to overcome.
Yes.
That is what exactly they see when you speak about your weakness. Any other questions? No. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. All the best. See, many of them have this question, which company, which package, whenever anyone comes. So I would like to say one thing, your actually first salary doesn't matter at all. What salary you get after 2 to 3 years, that's what matters the most. Because first year, whatever package you get, next year you can also get 300% hike, provided what you have learnt in that first year. And same way the next year also you can get 100 to 300% hike, provided what you learnt in the second year. Again in the next year same thing can happen. This is something which happens only in IT industry. After you reach around 5 years, then getting 300% hike is not that easy. It will take a little bit of difficulty because you would have already reached 20-30 lakhs if you have taken 200-300% hikes, and if you have taken 20-30 lakhs per annum package, if you want to make 300% hike, that is 60 lakhs. So 20 to 60 lakhs if you want to go, it is not easy. 20 to 30 you can go, but 20 to 60 it will take a lot of efforts. But 3 to 10, 3 to 12, 3 to 15, 3 to 18 will not take a lot of efforts. And I have my own students. One guy recently was working in one of the startups. Have I told civil branch student? So that's the reality. And that's not just, that is one example. There are so many people like this. There is one guy, just 1 year experience. He is working in HSR. His starting salary was 5 point something. Right now he is getting 15 point something. I have my own friends as well who started their career along with me. Their package is also not that much. So this is the difference you can create. So don't focus on just your first salary, because there are so many people who come and say me, sir, the package is just 3 lakhs. My skills are next level. I want 6 lakhs. I will say you one thing. If you are aiming for 6 lakhs during the time of recession, yes, I am not saying you will not get it. You will get it, but it will take time. Maybe it will take 3 months, maybe it will take 6 months. So if you are getting 6 lakhs after 6 months, you have only 6 months left out in that particular year, because 6 months is already gone searching for it. So what you get in the next 6 months is 3 lakhs. If you have taken 3 lakhs earlier, in that whole year also you would have got 3 lakhs. But you would have worked for longer time. Now some of them might consider, sir, I worked for 6 months, I got 3 lakhs. If I had worked for 12 months also, I will get only 3 lakhs. What you need to understand over here is, the more you work over here, the experience that you gain matters a lot over here. If I had to give a simple scenario, how many months have you completed in TAP Academy? Some of them may be 2 months, some of them may be 4 months, in and around 2 to 4 months, correct or not? Have you learnt more than what you learnt in 4 years of engineering or not? That is what is going to happen in real-time experience as well. You are just attending the classes and saying in 4 months I have learned so many things. So think, if you are working for 9 hours a day with all the experienced people around you, and they are pushing you to such an extent, they will say do this today itself, do that tomorrow itself. So you will push yourself, and you would have learnt a lot in that process. So please consider that experience, and that experience matters a lot. Anyways, for now you write those 2 lines of code and come tomorrow. Have a great day.